Welcome back. This is the Savvy Attorney Rochelle, and I'm coming back to you with another video about the current trial of Justin Johnson, who is alleged to have been one of the shooters responsible for the unaliving of rapper Young Dolph. Let's react to why exactly Mr. Johnson took this case to trial. Hi, my name's Rochelle, and I'm an attorney. Even though I'm an attorney, I'm not your attorney. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is not legal advice. So today we're going to react to Justin Johnson and day 1 and day 2 of his trial for the unaliving of Young Dolph. Now, what's really curious in this situation is why exactly Mr. Johnson took this case to trial. Now, we're going to look at some video footage, and clips from the trial, kind of summarizing the evidence that has already been put forth between day 1 and day 2 of this trial. Now, the first clip we're going to look at is from the other alleged co-conspirator, Mr. Cornelius Smith. And in this footage, we'll hear Mr. Smith identifying both himself and Mr. Johnson as the two individuals in surveillance footage outside of Makita's right at the time of the unaliving of Young Dolph. Now, it's unclear to me why an individual whose co-conspirator is identifying them would continue to proceed to take the matter to trial. Let's watch Mr. Smith's testimony.
Right. This clicker is very difficult to use. Right here first is this.
That's me.
Gap sweatshirt. Draco.
Yeah, great thing.
Gloves. Got those Nikes on.
Yeah. Orange or white Nike.
Black sweatshirt, gloves. What kind of hat is it?
A Bass Pro.
That's Justin.
Yeah, just.
And you understand, or do you understand, as you identify these pictures, not only are you saying that Justin's guilty of murder,
Right,
of the contract hit, but you're saying you're guilty too.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that truth?
Yes, sir.
As you can see, Mr. Smith is telling. So in addition to Mr. Smith testifying, we also have a second co-conspirator who has also offered testimony against Mr. Johnson. Now, this is Mr. Johnson's half-brother who has been indicted as an alleged co-conspirator after the fact. Now, Mr. Johnson's half-brother, he pled guilty to 3 separate counts of being a co-conspirator after the fact, or necessary after the fact, in this case, and he pled out back in 2023. So Mr. Johnson has known for quite some time that his brother was going to tell. And interestingly, what we'll learn from watching him allocute to the judge about what exactly his involvement was with this alleged crime is that he's never been in trouble before. He has no prior criminal record, and it makes complete sense why he would give the police and all the prosecutors the information that they need to assist with prosecuting this case against his brother. So let's watch the testimony.
Mr. Justin, we have talked before, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when we talked, you told me about meeting with your half-brother, Justin. He's your half-brother, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me about meeting with your half-brother, Justin, about a week or so after the murder of Adolph Thornton Jr., is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time that he gave you a car, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time he also gave you his cellular telephone, is that correct?
Correct.
You told me that, or did you tell me that afterwards you used that cellular telephone at his request?
Yes, sir.
Did you describe to me a scenario in which you would place one phone up to another while Justin was on another phone for the benefit of his parole or probation officer?
He was called to get somebody's number, and I would put my phone down on the bed, and I put somebody else's phone out there and talk to him.
And you told me about the times that you did that. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you also described times not just with the probation or parole officer, but also with an individual known to you as C.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you now know that individual to be Cornelius Smith. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
And you described to me, and you turned this phone over, and in it were text messages with this individual C. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And some of these text messages, some of what you witnessed, was conversation with regard to money that Justin would be getting to C. Is that correct?
He asked for money, yes, sir.
Asked for money.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yeah. He was asking him money from somebody else.
Okay. And that somebody else was referred to as Unc. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this would be money that C asked for from Justin that Justin was going to get from Unc.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? You described all that to me.
Yes, sir.
You've also looked at some photographs that included one of your half-brother in a particular outfit, and you identified Justin Johnson, your half-brother, in the photograph.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that one day you may be called to testify in a trial in this matter?
Yes, sir.
Will you tell the truth that time?
Yes, sir.
Have you told the truth with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. No further questions, Judge.
So today we have Mr. Johnson further elaborating on what he said back from his plea hearing, indicating exactly what his involvement was post-incident with the unaliving of Young Dolph. And we can see from this footage that he clearly implicates his younger brother as the individual in this surveillance footage. And he admits to assisting him with trying to get money from Unc to Cornelius. And he also is in possession of his brother's cell phone, which was subsequently turned over to police. So because this video for this testimony that we just watched is from 2023, this information was available to Mr. Johnson and his attorney. So it's unclear why exactly they would take this matter to trial, knowing that his brother is implicating him in the crime, and also turned over evidence that would assist the police in connecting Mr. Johnson to this crime. Now, I also want to have just a short snippet, which is Mr. Johnson's attorney's cross-examination of his brother. And you will note that the only questions that he asked is about whether or not his brother previously assisted him with his social media pages. Now, if your brother or sister testified against you that, hey, yeah, I assisted him in trying to get this money. He gave me this cell phone. I was in possession of it. There were a host of individuals who were texting me on it, trying to arrange for payment for services rendered after this alleged unaliving. If once the person gives all this testimony, wouldn't you want to try to discredit that testimony? Is the big takeaway from that you had your brother assisting you with managing your Instagram page? I'm not really sure what his attorney strategy was in terms of focusing the cross-examination on whether or not the brother was managing this Instagram page post the unaliving of Young Dolph. Now, the final clip we're going to take a look at is essentially a summary from local news about the surveillance footage of Mr. Johnson before and after the unaliving of Young Dolph. Let's take a look.
On the stand Tuesday, Terrence Dabney, a now retired Memphis police homicide investigator. He handled the Young Dolph case. He detailed the crime scene outside of Makita's Cookies. The spent shell casings, videos, and pictures shown to the jury showed two men with guns, one of them wearing the Bass Pro hat and the gray sweatpants. Prosecutors say is Justin Johnson. The getaway car seen on video, a stolen white Mercedes. Now, rewind back the day before Young Dolph's murder, 17 hours before. The jury is shown surveillance video from Crosstown Concourse, where Johnson was living with a relative. You can see a white Ford Expedition pull into the parking garage. Then you see a man on the elevator wearing a Bass Pro hat, gray sweatpants. Prosecutors say that's Johnson. A series of videos spanning several hours, counting down to Dolph's death, is shown, showing Johnson coming and going from the building. in the same outfit. At one point, he returns to Crosstown Concourse in a white Mercedes car. Prosecutors also show video of a car exchange at a gas station in the middle of the night where that Mercedes is picked up. Then, around 30 minutes before the murder, video shows Johnson leaving the apartment once again. And once again, he's in the same outfit. This time, he's on the phone with his young daughter. You see him leave in the white Mercedes. The shooting outside of Makita's, the incident captured on video. Young Dolph is killed. Today, the investigator testified those guns used in the murder, an assault rifle and a handgun, have never been recovered. Then, 37 minutes after the shooting, prosecutors say surveillance video shows the accused shooters going to another apartment complex, changing clothes, Johnson into a yellow hoodie, and leaves in a white Expedition. Then, hours later, more surveillance video shows him return to Crosstown Concourse in a yellow sweatshirt, go into an apartment, come back out with his bags packed. Then investigators say he went on the run, starting a manhunt.
Now, you will note from this footage that we just watched that the police have Mr. Johnson's movements both before and after. And very clearly in this before footage, we have Mr. Johnson wearing the exact same outfit that he was wearing in the surveillance footage outside of Makita's when the unaliving took place. So we also have video footage of the vehicle that was stolen that is seen in the surveillance footage at Makita outside of Mr. Johnson's residence. So it's completely unclear with this type of video evidence why Mr. Johnson would take this case to trial when faced with all of this evidence. In addition to this footage, I just also kind of want to react to the opening argument set forth by Mr. Johnson's attorney. Now, Mr. Johnson's attorney's opening arguments really focus on Mr. Johnson as this up-and-coming rapper who he asserts was going to be a multi-million-dollar artist, and his troubled business relationship with Hernandez Govan. Now, Hernandez Govan is the fourth individual who the state asserts was responsible for the unaliving of Young Dolph. And it's alleged that Mr. Govan solicited Mr. Smith and Mr. Johnson for the alleged unaliving, and that he was said to receive approximately $20,000 of a $100,000 bounty for his role in soliciting the individuals who set out to unalive Young Dolph. So that's what his defense attorney focuses on. Govan, his role in the music industry, and their failed business relationship. He really doesn't address all of this evidence that we've already reviewed about his client, connecting his client to this incident, and other individuals who are alleged to have been co-conspirators and honestly who have admitted to their role in this act, saying, hey, yeah, this guy was here with us. Yeah, that's the guy in the video footage. The attorney really doesn't address those arguments. And I think that, in my opinion, it really will hurt his credibility with the jury because, I mean, that's the elephant in the room. We're seeing all these individuals who are admitting that they were the individuals responsible for this incident, and they're pointing to your client. And you're saying, hey, yeah, no, but Govan had a failed business transaction with me. That really doesn't address what's before the issue. That really doesn't address the evidence before the jury. So we will keep watching. I imagine this trial will not be a long one, but we will continue to watch. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.